Hi, welcome back to Tony's British English. Now, the last time we spoke, we looked at the conditionals. We looked at the zero, we looked at the first, and then we looked at the second conditional. Now, today, we're going to look at the third conditional. Now, the third conditional is about conditionals in the past. Something that happened in the past. We often ask ourselves the same question: what if? What if I hadn't done that? What if he hadn't come? What if I had said? This what if business is really about a conditional in the past. Now, today, what I thought we'd do, we'd look at a very big event in the past. And we're going to explore what you would have done. What you would have done if you had been in the same situation. Now, that's very complicated, I know, but let's just go through it bit by bit and I'll help you understand this complicated case. Let's have a look at this. What does that spell? It spells Titanic. Ooh, it spells Titanic. And that's what we're going to look at today. Now, the Titanic was what? I'll tell you. The Titanic was a big ship going from England to America. When? In 1912. Now, on April the 14th at 11:40 in the evening, the ship hit what? Well, the ship hit an iceberg and sank. Now, imagine if all the Hollywood stars were on a plane and the plane crashed. It was the same. So many rich and famous people were on the ship. Anyway, it hit the iceberg, pa-chang, and sank. But there are loads and loads and loads of what if. So, number one, problem. The ship was traveling too fast. The ship was traveling too fast. It was nighttime. They couldn't see. It was nighttime. Too fast, nighttime. The captain was not very good. People told him, don't go so fast. But he carried on, going really fast. He didn't believe their warnings. So you could say Captain Smith, that's his name, was not very good. So we have three things. Now, 1912 is the past. It's the past. So we have a classic what if situation. So let's look at the construction. If the Titanic had been, what's that? Had been. Oh, I know. It's the past perfect. Had been. It's the past perfect. Going, because it's continuous. More slowly, comparative. Comma, end of the first clause. Second clause. It, the Titanic, it would have seen, would have seen, would, conditional, have seen, present perfect. So we have if plus subject, Titanic, had been past perfect, going more slowly, it would, conditional, have seen, present perfect. So we have if plus past perfect plus would plus present perfect. That gives us a situation in the past. We're looking at it from the present, but we're looking at the past and asking ourselves the question, what if? Now, let's have a look at the second one. So, the next one is night. The Titanic was traveling at night at full speed. But if the Titanic had been traveling during the day, comma, it would have seen the iceberg. It would have seen the iceberg. Okay, let's have a look. So if it had been day, comma, the Titanic would have seen the iceberg. If it had been day, the Titanic would have seen, present perfect. If Captain Smith had been better, comma, he would have slowed down. He would have slowed down. Maybe even stopped for the night. But he didn't. The ship kept on sailing into the night until it met the iceberg. However, one very important fact. Captain Smith said, women and children. Women and children. Not men, but women and their children. So, we have a situation. What would you have said to your father or to your brother? Because if you're a woman, you would go onto the lifeboat and say goodbye to your father, brother, or husband, or lover. What would you have said? What would you have said? Question mark. So now we're making a question from the third conditional. What would you have done? What would you have done? Easy. I would have gone to the bar as a man. I would have gone to the bar and had a very, very, very large whiskey. Because I'm going to die. Ooh, sad. But if you're a woman, what would you have done? I've spoken to many people and they said I would have gone on the boat or I would have stayed with my husband, father, boyfriend. So we have lots of different answers, but I'm asking you, what would you have done? What would you have done if you had been, past perfect, on the Titanic? Now you can see we've changed round the structure. So, if you had been on the Titanic, what would you have done? Question. Or, what would you have done if you had been on the Titanic? Same thing. Yeah? But the position of the if changes. Now, if comes in the middle of a sentence, we don't use a comma. We only use a comma if it comes first. Now, let's move on, because this is the past. Something that happened or didn't happen in the past. Now that is connected with, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, with regret. Now I'm old. I'm an old man. So I have many regrets. If I had only gone to the airport with her, comma, she wouldn't have left me. If I had studied a different subject at university, I wouldn't have worked here all my life. These are situations that didn't happen in the past, or did happen in the past. Recap: if plus past perfect plus would plus present perfect equals past supposition. Now, let's have a few examples. If I hadn't lost my keys last night, if I hadn't lost my keys last night, comma, I would have slept in my own bed. If I hadn't lost my keys last night, I would have slept in my own bed. But I didn't. If I hadn't means I lost my keys. If I hadn't bought that car, I would have had enough money to go on holiday. But I bought the car, so I didn't have enough money to go on holiday. Annoying. But if I had married her, my daughter wouldn't have been born. If I had married her, my daughter wouldn't have been born, but she was born. Looking at a supposition in the past, something that happened or didn't happen. Yeah? Now, if I had been on the Titanic, I would have gone to the bar and had a large glass of whiskey. What would you have done? What would you have done? Think about it. Because the funny thing is, people knew the ship was sinking, and there was nothing they could do about it. That's why Titanic has a very special memory, I think, because you had this time to think about it. What would you have done? What would you have done? Now, we could contract it. Now, this is called a double contraction. Now, a double contraction are two verbs which are contracted. So we say, I would have, contraction, we have I'd have gone downstairs. I'd have said goodbye. I'd have said goodbye. And I would have put my wife into a lifeboat, but I'd have gone to the bar. Being English. Right, okay, now that is the third conditional. If plus past perfect plus would plus present perfect equals a past supposition. Something that happened or didn't happen. Cool? That's a short one. Thank you very much indeed. Next time, it'll be really, really good. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Oh, by the way, I nearly forgot. I now have a website. Now, at the end of the program, you will see my address. I would love to meet you. I would love to meet you. Yeah? And maybe teach you English. So all we need to do is have Skype. Also, I can teach you. We'll call it the Tony's British English. How about that? Okay, so at the end of the program, look at the website. I would love to see you. I would love to teach you. Okay, have a good day. See you. Bye.